Okay. So we kind of, I think we have a sense of what psychological safety is. Now let's go. So you want to add a little bit about why it matters? You've talked about, I mean, you've done so many
Yeah.
studies and showed so many impacts. So why does it matter?
I mean, it primarily matters, I think, because unlike the time of Henry Ford, nearly everybody, and I really do mean nearly everybody, is engaged in work that requires judgment and creativity and decision making and working with others in a sort of open and sometimes vulnerable way. In order to do a good job in workplaces today, we need to be willing to take interpersonal risks. I need to ask for help if I'm in over my head. I need to admit when I've done something wrong. I need to question your judgment. I need to do all those things if we are going to perform well. And it's perfectly plausible, in fact, not uncommon for me to look good, not being open, not being candid. But it is less plausible for us to be a really effective team. So psychological safety basically doesn't produce good teamwork. It enables teamwork. It enables teams to sort of do the hard judgment-based, uncertain, interdependent work that they have to do.
Employee attributes that promote learning from failure. I'm going to read them real quick and have you explain it. A
Okay.
noisy complainer, a noisy troublemaker, self-aware error maker, and a disruptive questioner. Now, this sounds to me like how I acted in high school, except for the self-awareness part. So why are you encouraging,
Well, I mean, you never would have thought you'd get away with tongue in cheek in an academic article,
right?
but that's tongue in cheek. And of course, if you read the whole article, you see how and why.
Yes.
But I'm not really saying we want, noisy, complainy people, right? But what I am saying is that most managers have an implicit mental model, a tacit mental model of which you're largely unaware of what the ideal employee is like. And of course, the ideal employee, which is the other column in that table, is the person who just looks like they've got everything under control at all times. And, they don't make mistakes. They don't bother you, blah, blah, blah. Right. And what we're trying to argue is that, in fact, the ways in which you send that message inhibit the very learning behavior that quality improvement and innovation depend upon. Right? So you actually want people, since we're all fallible, we all will make mistakes, like it or not. You want people to be aware of the fact that they're making mistakes. And then, of course, you want them to be incredibly forthcoming about it so that mistakes can be caught and corrected before something really bad happens. You want people to be, noisy complainer was sort of code for willing to suggest a better way, even if we have found that a lot of times we believe, even though it may not be true, that the status quo was explicitly designed and therefore is loved by the boss. Right. And more often than not, the boss doesn't like it any more than you do. But they're just not, they haven't issued the explicit invitation, which they should issue, which is, hey, what do you see? What ideas do you have? I really want to hear from you. So that table is meant to just say, sometimes our mental models are taken for granted mental models of, say, what an employee, the ideal employee is, are getting in our own way, right? And what we really need to do is retrain our brains to welcome and embrace and be so excited when people are admitting errors, asking for help, offering suggestions, testing and trying things out. And that's good for them. It's good for us. It's good for the team.